Hey friends, and welcome back to Elle's Design Diary. My name is Noelle if you're new, and I want to first start by saying congratulations because likely if you've clicked on this video, you are currently preparing for your first UX design interview and you're looking for some insight on the various steps of this interview process. So if you're interested in learning about the various steps throughout the UX design interview process, then stay tuned for this video. I'm going to break this video down into several steps just to help break down what that interview process will look like for a UX design or product design position. So I know that there's lots of resources out there outlining this process, and it can seem a little overwhelming at first, but I want to walk you guys through the process that I know and the process that I went through as a newer designer and that I still kind of go through whenever I'm interviewing today. So I will say that the interview process does vary depending on the level of the position that you're interviewing for. If you're interviewing for a more mid-level or senior level position, some of these steps may be omitted from that interview process, but I know when you're a junior designer, you're typically going to see all of the steps that we'll go through today in that interview process. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So step one is going to be your introductory call. So this is usually done with a recruiter, someone from HR or the technical acquisition partner with the company that you are interviewing with. This call is typically 30 to 45 minutes or so, and it allows them to just assess your personality, see if you'll be a cultural fit, also to gather your work history, any goals you may have, any experience relevant to the role in which you're applying, and also they will likely collect your salary expectations during this time as well. So some of the questions that you might hear are, tell me about yourself, questions related to your skill set and some of the tools that you may use in your day-to-day. And this is your opportunity to explain your skill set to a non-designer because usually the person doing the introductory call is not a designer, so they might not really understand the tools or some of the processes that you may speak of, but it's a good opportunity for you to practice selling yourself. So step two is a call with the hiring manager or another designer from the team that you will be working with. So these are going to be questions around your experience, maybe more in-depth questions around your design process, and just really getting the opportunity to understand your education, some of the tools that you use, and again, explaining those skills again to an actual designer or hiring manager or someone who have a little bit more knowledge on the skills and technical aspect of being a designer. Also an opportunity to allow them to get an idea of how you collaborate with a team and provide them with some information on the impact that you may have brought to your organization very briefly. So step three is going to be your skills assessment, and this is typically one of three things. It's a portfolio review, a take-home design challenge, or a whiteboarding challenge. So depending on your company that you're interviewing for, they may choose one of these three options to really understand how you work as a designer and just really understand your knowledge of the skills that you'll be using in the actual role. So for the portfolio review, you will typically be asked to present 1 to 3 of your case studies from your portfolio. I highly recommend that you put these together into a slide deck as opposed to scrolling through your portfolio website as you're presenting. That just tends to look a little unprofessional, so it's a lot better to compile everything into a slide deck. So I will link a slide deck template down below that you can use for your interviews, and all you have to do is kind of plug and play your own case study information, and that can be used to present your case studies during your interview. Some of the main points they're looking for when you're presenting each of these case studies will be an overview of the study itself, the team that you worked with, the work that you did as a designer, and they really want to understand how you were able to measure success and the impact that the project had on the business is the main points that they want to understand from this. So next you have your design take-home challenge. So this is typically when the interviewer will send you a design prompt and it's up to you to come up with a creative solution to solve the specific problem within the prompt. And you will typically come back in a few days to a week or so to present your solution to the team. And they will kind of use that to assess your skill set, see how you think as a designer, and really just get to understand your design process. Third is a whiteboarding challenge, and this is typically a challenge that is done live while you are in the interview with a few different individuals. You can have anywhere from 1 to 5+ individuals within these calls, and they're typically, again, giving you a design prompt, and you're working with everyone on the call to come up with a solution together. So they want to see how you collaborate with a team, and this also gives them insight into how you facilitate workshops, because that's something that you commonly do as a designer, and you really want to ensure that you're asking the right questions. And a tip with the whiteboarding challenge is to ensure that you're talking your thoughts out loud the entire time. I can't stress enough how important that is. You don't want to work in silence with the whiteboarding challenge, because you really want them to hear how you're thinking about the problem and how you're approaching the problem and how you intend to solve that problem. So all three of these really gives them insight on how you work as a designer, your design output, and your design process as a whole, and lets them understand how you will collaborate with a team if they were to hire you for the position. So step 4 will be to present your design challenge if you were given a take-home design challenge. And then once you're finished with the overall skills assessment portion of the interview process, you will then move on to step 5, which is the culture fit check. So the culture fit check is just the opportunity for you to meet with various individuals on the team in which you will be working. This can include your other designers that you'll be working with, the engineering team, your design leads, and many others. And it just gives them the opportunity to assess your vibe and really fill out if you will work well with everyone, if your personalities will clash or not, and just really understanding how it is working with you and if you will seamlessly be able to integrate yourself within their current structure of their current team. So for this portion of the interview process, it's really important to just be yourself. Don't try to act like something you're not. Just be yourself. See if the team vibes with who you are as a person, because you would not want to get on a team where you've had to fake who you are during the interview and then you have to upkeep that, the whole time you're working. So just be true to yourself and really go into it just wanting to get to know your team and relaxed and confident in who you are and what you bring to the table. So step 6 is going to be you receiving your offer letter. So this is your opportunity to really sharpen your negotiation skills. If the offer letter does not present with the salary expectation or the benefits that you were expecting, and if they're not aligned with what you want, then don't be afraid to ask for what you want. This is your opportunity to ask for a higher salary if you'd like a little more, or if you have a longer commute to the office, if it's a hybrid position, then take that into account when you are replying back to the email to negotiate your salary. The worst that anyone can say is no. And if they say no, then you just settle with what they have, or you look for a position that is willing to meet your needs and give you what you are asking for. So I want to leave you guys with a few tips just to really help push you a little further and really help you secure that bag and get that position and really bring it all home here. So tip number 1 is going to be to ask questions throughout the process. Don't be afraid to ask questions throughout the process to really understand if this role is going to be a good fit for you. I do have another video on my channel where I give some example questions of what you should be asking, or good questions to ask to really set you apart as a candidate. And this is your opportunity to interview the company as well. Just as much as they're interviewing you, you are interviewing them to make sure it's a good fit for you as well. Tip 2 is going to be to practice, practice, practice. I cannot stress enough how important it is to run through that slide deck. If you're doing a portfolio review or you know that you have a portfolio review coming up, you really want to ensure that you know that portfolio slide deck like the back of your hand, and you know your resume like the back of your hand. You want to make sure that you study this information. I know it's information about you and this is stuff that you should know, but trust me, you get nervous when you're in front of others and you forget everything even about yourself. So just really practice as much as you can. Going into the interview, practice with friends, practice with other designers, just anyone who will be able to understand and give you valuable feedback as you're going through your portfolio presentation. Tip 3 is it's okay to say, I don't know. If the interviewer asks you a question and you're not 100% sure, or you have not worked on that specific aspect of your job, it's okay to tell them that you don't know and explain to them that it's something that you're hoping to build your knowledge on and something that you're hoping to improve upon in this role, and just show your excitement and eagerness to learn something new. So tip 4, and my last tip is going to be to be prepared, be personable, and smile. It never hurts to smile during your interview. People can hear a smile when you're talking, so even when you're doing that initial phone call with the recruiter or technical acquisition partner, ensure that you're still smiling in that phone call, because they can hear your excitement and passion through your smile. So that is all, folks, and I hope this was helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Again, if you enjoy content like this, please feel free to like, share, comment, any feedback you have or any videos that you would like to see. And also turn on that notifications bell and subscribe to my channel first, and then turn on that notifications bell so that way you're notified whenever I post new content. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys are killing your interviews, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Bye for now. Peace and love.